Before we start, I need to give a mention to Wizard forums. They are the best online community focused on the occult that is now available on the internet. Without them, this video would not be possible. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Peace. It is an honor to have you here. If you are interested in study of vampirism and its occult aspects, you might have already found that it is not easy to find a book. Vampirism, as is known today, is indeed modern phenomena, so there are no ancient books out there. That is a fact, despite some vampiric groups claiming to have long history. It is a modern thing, so all the books are modern. Another thing is that even a decade back, there were very few books on vampires. That is changing, but even today it is often believed that these books are rare. To help people look for the titles, I decided to make a list of at least 50 books. Even to me, this felt almost impossible. But to my surprise, this task wasn't hard. Not at all. So I have a list of 51 books, and that even with excluding encyclopedic books. But before we get to the books themselves, let us make few things clear. Vampirism is left-hand path current, and as such it is not light and gentle magic. Vampirism is predatory spirituality and can be dangerous on many levels. If you are interested, keep in mind that you are the one who is reading the books and using the knowledge. Your choice, your deed, your responsibility, no one else's. I decided that I will not represent the books in this video with review or putting values on them. Instead, I will read small part of the official description of each book. This way it will be more fair, because it will allow the books to be represented in their own way. And since YouTube is rather puritanistic and I intend to follow its rules as much as I'm able, I had to blur some parts of the covers. They are beautiful, but some of them could be a problem on YouTube. Sorry about that, but it has to be done. Now that I said all that was needed to be told, let us begin. Ascetian Bible. The Ascetian Bible is an authoritative work on ancient Egyptian spirituality and real-life vampirism that presents the Ascetian tradition to the world, developed in a way for both initiates and scholars. The Book of Orion. The Book of Orion is an occult grimoire that presents a profound study on spirituality and ancient symbolism through an initiatory formula that echoes the timeless connection between the psychology of the incarnated mind and the many indefinable layers of divinity. The Violet Throne. The Violet Throne is an intricate tool of personal evolution, internal initiation, and profound liberation. Composed by distinct methodologically crafted occult grimoire that establish an elaborate foundation of Ascetian wisdom, this transcendent tome that unifies worlds, art, and magic is a talisman for advanced practitioners and a gateway between worlds. Ardef, the Maid Vampire. A magical grimoire documenting, for the first time anywhere, practical methods for obtaining full initiation into the vampire community. Teachings of the Immortals. This book can show you how. It was 1994 when we went to see Interview with the Vampire, which turned out to be a major catalyst in my life, awakening the awareness that I was a mortal who was going to die if I didn't do something. But what to do? While I would love to say I went looking for Lestat and found him, that would be a pleasant fantasy. What I did was to open the realm of all possibility. Darker Teachings of the Immortals. Darker teachings of the immortals brings the reader into intimate contact with secrets and truths that had been suppressed for centuries by governments, religions, and corporations who seek to maintain a profitable status quo while simultaneously keeping the human population docile, obedient, and worst of all, mortal. Now, at last, it is time to throw off the chains and claim our rightful place among the immortals. The Immortals Handbook. For anyone who has ever dared to contemplate the possibility of living forever, the Immortals Handbook is a work you can't afford to miss. If you are ready to confront your false belief and the virtual pandemic of viruses that compromise the human programming mechanism, this is the book that will give you the key to getting out of life alive. Energy Magic of the Vampire. In this initiatory guide, Don Webb explains how to learn from the myth of the vampire to gather, use, and store energy for magical power, manifestation, and personal liberation. A master of the Order of the Vampire within the Temple of Set, the author shares a 9-month process to awaken and initiate you as a vampire and allow you to actualize your hidden potential. Nox Infernus. Nox Infernus explains the how and whys of vampire lore and provides the necessary information for changing the self into a ferocious and mysterious creatures of the shadows. Rites of burial, blood magic, shadow manipulations, and feeding the shadow are among some of the material found in this masterpiece. Vampire's Way to Psychic Self-Defense. Normal psychic self-defense techniques do not work very well, and even when they do, they are very costly energetically. There is a better way, a more powerful way, a more natural way. Liber Hirudo. A treatise on vampiric society from the perspective of the legend. This is a functioning grimoire to lend the practitioner the ability to become, through rites and diligence, the vampire of old legend. Also includes many uses for the magically inclined. Mythos. This is the book of shapeshifting. I have summoned sources through invocation and evocation, learned through the Golden Dawn to ensure these sources as a fact. As you can see, this book lies before you in pristine paperback form. The secrets that lie within can be yours if you want them. All you need is the desire to claim what is rightfully yours. Psychic Vampirism. This document discusses the concept of vampiric willpower and personal magnetism. It explains that vampires have psychic abilities that allow them to process energy and information differently than conscious thought. This document also describes how vampires can develop and project personal magnetism through collecting diffused magnetism in the body and connecting it to brain power. Chi Vampirism. This work will discuss the scientific quantification of what some call Chi Vampirism, and will furthermore go into how and why the practice is engaged in within Taoism. The Vampire Gate. Unfortunately, for this book, no official description is available. Typhonian Vampire Magic. Sekhem Apep is both a recent modern study and magical grimoire exploring 20 years of the darker traditions of Typhonian and vampiric magic of the Black Order of the Dragon. Destined to be one of the most controversial magical books of the recent years, Sekhem Apep unveils the theory and practice of vampirism and the dark current of Typhonian telema from a Luciferian perspective. Ankh-Karu Vampire Magic. Ankh-Karu Vampire Magic is truly grimoire of forbidden, guiding and inspiring the aspirant towards the heretical and considerably secretive initiatory rites formulated from the Black Order of the Dragon. The Black Art of Vampirism. The Black Art of Vampirism possesses none of the mar of lesser volumes, neither is it a vehicle for another current that would dilute the profound amorality and transhumanism that genuine vampirism entails. Written by the leadership of the Temple of the Black Vampire slowly, intentfully, and meticulously over the last 10 years, this book represents the means and methods of vampiric predatory spirituality unchained. The Infernal Vampire Handbook. The first of D.H. Throne's smaller grimoires, this book details his practices of internal vampiric magic, complete with his explanation of what vampirism is and how to apply that knowledge in both ritual practice and energy manipulation. The Psychic Vampire Codex. In the Psychic Vampire Codex, Michel Belanger, author and psychic vampire, introduces readers to the fascinating system of energy work used by vampires themselves and provides the actual codex text, widely used by the vampire community for instruction in feeding and other techniques. Belanger also examines the ethics of vampirism and offers readers methods of protection from vampires. The Vampire Ritual Book. The Vampire Ritual Book contains rituals, ceremonies, and rites of passage written specifically for modern vampire community. Explore vampire-themed seasonal rites, marriage ceremonies, and personal rituals within this tome. The book also includes a number of vampire-specific rituals, such as the promising of the donor, rites for founding new houses, and initiation ceremonies to bring a new vampire into the community. Sacred Hunger. Author Michel Belanger has fascinated and informed readers about vampire in folklore, fiction, and fact since early 90s. Now, enjoy all of Michel's major essays on this fascinating topic, collected for the first time in single volume. Vampiros Magicae. Vampire magic based on ancient Sumerian and Kemetic rituals, energy manipulation, remote influence, dreamwalking, incorporating entities, tulpas, and servitors, magnetic personality, laws of magnetic influence, awaken occult powers, non-sanguine vampirism, and many rituals. Vampire Sanguinomicon. The Vampire Sanguinomicon provides a profound perspective on the vampire culture, tradition, movement, and philosophies which are intended to challenge and inspire your views. Vampire Magic. In Vampire Magic, Father Sebastian reveals the hidden rituals and spells of the living vampires. The Black Veils. Black Veils is dedicated to furthering vampire culture and current. Written by Father Sebastian to inspire and challenge the reader, each Black Veil promotes personal evolution and embraces the vampire current. The Purple Veils. Unfortunately, for this book, no official description is available. Strigoi 7. Path of the Living Vampire. The Strigoi 7 Codex provides a profound perspective on the vampire culture, traditions, movement, and philosophies, which are intended to challenge and inspire your views. Clavicula Nosferatu. Clavicula Nosferatu by Phyrexia, one of the few existing texts on practical vampirism, aims to expand the available knowledge on this enigmatic path and cultivate vampiric powers in those who venture into its mysteries. It is a work designed for those seeking to awaken the darkest and most ancient forces latent in the blood, offering a guide to mastering them. The Vampire's Bible. Here is real vampirism at your fingertips. The history, lore, and practices of the vampire world, both ancient and modern, are examined and revealed completely from the vampire's perspective. The code of silence is broken. Modern-day creatures of the night are coming out of their coffins and crypts to reveal the legacies of the true Darksiders throughout history. From Lilith at Cain in ancient Mesopotamia to futuristic goths and cybervamps. The Vampire's Handbook. Within this amazing presentation of the Vampire's Handbook, Joshua Free bridges an understanding and communication of the realm of magic and Mardukitis with a futurist vision of systemology and Suism by revealing the vampiric history, folklore, theory of energy work, practices of energy feeding, the Darksider diseases of werewolves, the necromancy of making zombies, ceremonies of death and immortality from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The ethical psychic vampire. If you have ever felt that your energy or life force was being continually drained by someone, especially if it was someone that you loved, then you probably should have given them this book. This is the definitive guide to psychic vampires, with exercises and advice to help them learn control and compassion, and get their needs met in ethical ways. From coping with vampire children to dealing with your vampire lover, this book covers it all in straightforward style. Nosferatu magic, vampire infernal magic. Are you capable of embracing your dark side and releasing the chains of your true self? If so, here is the tool to help you free yourself from the shackles of the world and no longer belong to the world, but rather be above it, and above all the mass of unconscious beings that abundantly populate the ends of the earth. The Vampire Awakening, Ordo Dracul. For those who identify as a vampire, this is the core of what the vampire is, the night side of a state of essence. The vampire is rooted in ascendance to another state of being, an altered state of vibration, if you will, an essence that those who call themselves vampire seek to rise to. Secrets to becoming a vampire. Embark on a transformative journey as you explore the secrets to becoming a vampire, delving into the depths of your true self and unlocking your hidden potential. This sacred book offers an all-encompassing guide to embracing the vampiric essence, empowering you with rituals, meditations, and practices that lead to self-discovery and spiritual growth. The Prophecy of the Vampire. This book, in development, has evolved into a manual for ultimate illumination and awakening of vampires and dark seekers everywhere. Draugadratin, Lord of the Undead. For more than 15 years, initiating vampirism has been the only occult path to which I have devoted myself. I managed to synthesize the magic from every vampiric path together in order to create the most complete and effective grimoire that was ever written on magic vampirism. This synthesis, I present it to you in my new book, Draugadratin. If your thirst for sustaining your spirit and conquering death is as great as mine, I invite you to embark with me in this quest for immortality, as we explore this energetic phenomena from practices such as Chinese medicine to powerful rituals transmitted for generations in some of the darkest lodges of Europe. Scholomance, the Order of the Dragon. After careful consideration, I have decided to take up my mighty pen once again to transmit the complete inner teachings of the elite esoteric Green Order, the heir of the Order of the Dragon, exactly as I had received the inner teachings years ago, as this lengthy curriculum has become the foundation to my new grimoire Scholomance, Order of the Dragon. Noctulius, He Who Devours. Noctulius, He Who Devours is a groundbreaking, bleeding-edge grimoire and the first complete work ever dedicated to the god of the night. For the first time in occult history, the scattered traces of this ancient deity found in rare French manuscripts, Italian esoteric studies, and fragments of English gnosis are gathered into a single initiatory volume. Far more than a manual, this text is a progressive descent into the nocturnal current, designed to strip away illusions, awaken predatory consciousnesses, and forge the adept into a soldier of darkness. The new Vril Vampire Book of Immortality and Power. This book uses the same principles of Vril energy, but this book is written specifically for vampires. The Vampire Bible. The Vampire Bible is your passport to the world of the vampire. Bloodlines. Bloodlines is a compilation of the best articles from the Temple's monthly newsletters, Life Force, from 1989 to 2002. Revelations, The Deeper Secrets of Vampirism. This book is highly condensed and multi-layered with meaning. In just few short pages, the essential keys to unlock the secrets of vampirism are revealed to you. The Book of the House of the Viper. The Testament of Shadows being published revealed the general paradigm of the Upireshi as a race with its culture and devotions, along with those occult arts that flow from that foundation. The Testament of Shadows reveals the history of the Upir, their faith, and hints of their culture in the mundane world. The House of the Viper is an energetic and philosophic collective of those who invest in the reality of the Testament of Shadows, while the Dark Lord, known in particular as Sutek, Moloch, and Kronos. Red Mysteries of the Viper. The Red Mysteries of the Viper focuses on the mundane sphere, the Red Mysteries, via the practices of magic and devotion, using the occult to manage the mundane. Within this book, everything needed to complete the work of the outer path of the mysteries, the golden path of the eclipse, the rites, rituals, and ceremonies, the runes, sigils, signs, and seals, along with the design for the ritual spaces, vestments, and tools used in both magic and devotion. Vampiric Magic. This book is not meant for everyone. It is for those who already walk alone, for those who feel that thirst is not a lack, but a promise, for those who sense that the void is not death, but a threshold. If you are among them, you need no further explanation. Only this book, a quiet place, and the decision to begin. Vampirism Magic for Beginners. Vampirism magic is not a new system or form of magic. It has been practiced by various practitioners of the magical arts since ancient times. You do not even need to be a vampire to do it. This makes it an interesting subject to any practitioners of the craft. After all, there is a great deal of power that this ancient knowledge and practice can give to anyone who knows how to harness the magic of so-called vampires. Again, even if you are not a vampire, you can learn important teachings from this magical scroll. And if you are a vampire, or if you are intending to become one, then this shall be a holy grail that should be in your arsenal of magical crafts and workings. Practical Psychic Vampirism. Practical Psychic Vampirism is a short, simple, straight-to-the-point book that skips the theory and gives you all the practical techniques of psychic vampirism that you will ever need. These exercises are simple but extremely effective. If you have any interest in psychic vampirism at all, this is the book to get. Energy Vampirism A Practice Codex. Within these pages, the Energy Vampirism A Practice Codex unveils the intricate dance of this potent art, a guiding light for those just stepping into the shadows, and a wellspring of new power for seasoned mages seeking to amplify their craft. Unbound by rigid traditions, vampiric magic seamlessly integrates into your unique practice, regardless of your current path. Vampiric Magic for the Beginners. Vampiric Magic, Energy Vampirism for Beginners, is a magical manual on vampiric magic, also known as the magic of the legendary vampires. Although not everyone is born as a vampire, the magic of vampirism is a learnable skill, and it can be learned by anyone. Vampiric Prayers, a book of dark enchantments. Within the pages of this book, you find a collection of dark, cleverly invented prayers and incantations designed to evoke a spirit of fantasy and suspense. Each fictional spell is carefully described, bringing to life the seductive and enigmatic atmosphere of the vampire universe. If you are still here, I hope it means that you enjoyed the list and got some inspiration for your next book hunting. I definitely did when I was putting this list together. Thank you for your time. Go in peace and guard your heart well.